Hello, wonderful Otter class. We are so sorry that this should have been yesterday's lesson and we had to switch things around, but I'm going to reveal why. And as you can see, I've got our little friend behind me, Splash, the otter. We've been waiting to do something with you about Splash because last half term you named him and the term before you actually adopted him. And so we thought to end this long 6 weeks of home learning, we would do a little activity to do with Splash, our class otter. And the reason we had to change things a little bit is because I managed to get in contact with the Worcestershire Wildlife Trust and explain to them how hard you've been working after adopting Splash the otter and that you'd named him. And they wanted to send a little video to you as well, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. So it's really, really fantastic that you've got your own video sent to us for Finstall First School for Otter class. And I'm going to share that with you in a moment. Before I do that, today's lesson and competition that we're setting for you is to create a fact file about Splash, our otter, or about otters in general. Now, being as otters are our class mascot, I should say, we don't really know, well, I definitely don't really know that much about them. And so we thought if we were to use our skills that we learnt last week when we did our fact file on Mary Anning, we could create a fact file all about otters and about Splash in particular. So we are not going to go over, I'm not going to go over all the skills you learnt with Mrs. Davies. So that was the layout and the headings and how you might put it together and what information you might include. But I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on what to do and how to set it out ready for our competition. Now, because it's Friday now, especially because it's Friday, we don't want to put you under pressure to try and get it all done in today's lesson and then hand it in. We are giving you until Tuesday. Now, we know it's half term, so please don't go and work on it if you don't need to in the half term holidays, because we don't want you to work in the half term holidays. And we won't be checking until later on in the week because we want to reveal our winner on the first Monday back at school. And there might be a little prize for the winner too. So hopefully that'll give you a bit of an incentive and a bit of motivation on our last day of the spring first half term, because you've worked so hard, so incredibly hard, and we're so proud of you that we thought this might be a little bit of an engaging activity because it's so personal to us. So to begin with, I'm going to share the little video that's been sent just for you from the Worcestershire Wildlife team. So look out, you might find some key information that you might need for your fact file. And the video that they've sent you, we have saved a link for it in the OneDrive file as well, so you can go back and watch it and save it to your computer because it's all for you, Otter class. So let me get it up. Okay, so I don't know how well the video is going to work, and that's why we've saved it separately. So if it's not very good, make sure you do go and watch it again in the OneDrive file.
Hello, Finstall First School. It's Mary from Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, and I'm here to say a huge Wildlife Trust thank you for sponsoring your otter. By doing that, you are helping us conserve the habitat, that's the rivers and the streams, that the otters in Worcestershire need to help them thrive. Now, I'm on the banks of the River Severn near Bewdley because on Christmas Eve last year, I had a really exciting wildlife encounter. I come down for a walk, just over there, I saw an otter swimming with a fish in its mouth. Now, that is the first otter I have ever seen in the wild, and I was very, very excited. I've been lucky enough to see otter footprints in the middle of Kidderminster. I was walking along the river there and looked down and saw what I thought were dog footprints, but they couldn't have been where a dog could get to, so I knew they must be otter prints. I also found otter poo or otter sprays in the wild forest along the stream there. I hope that one day you'll be able to have such exciting wildlife encounters yourself. Good luck!
So, Otters, that was just for you, Mary, from the Worcestershire Wildlife, thanking you for adopting Splash Otter and also giving us some really good information there. So we found out that a holt is the name of an otter's den where they live. We also found out that their poo, I don't know if you can see me doing this in the background, looks very unusual, is called spraint. And also that a male otter is called a dog. So some really good key information there that Mary told us. Now, the River Severn in Bewdley is really not that far away from where we live. So it might be a good idea in the springtime to head down there if you can and have a little look. And also the Wyre Forest is not far from where we live either. And that's a really nice place to go for a walk that you could go otter spotting, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And the little otter that she had a video of at night time, the night vision, who knows, that could be Splash, our otter that we've adopted and given some money to help the conservation towards keeping him in the wildlife, keeping him safe. So that was especially for you, and we had to wait a little bit longer than we had expected to get that video, and hence why we had to swap the lessons round. So I hope you like that and you can keep that forever. That's a little video for you. So moving on to our fact file for the lesson today. We're going to use the same format that you did with Mrs. Davis. Now, there's lots of information of otters online. What I have done for you is I have saved in the OneDrive file some links for you here. So there's some website links here and some YouTube videos that you can watch that will give you some key information about otters. And if you just see my little cursor as changed there, if you click on it, it will take you straight there. Now you can use my links or you can find your own, that's fine. You don't just have to use mine. Use your own if you want to as well. The only thing I would be careful of is that there are sea otters and there are river otters. And obviously, because we're in England and we're looking at the rivers in Worcestershire, you're looking at river otters rather than sea otters. There's a slight difference. So that might just give you a clue for when you're researching. Because when I started looking, there was lots of information on sea otters. So just be careful when you're having a look into that. So there's some ideas for you to do some research. And just as you did with Mary Anning, I've created a little fact sheet here for you, a research sheet. I've given you the headings already: appearance, which is what they look like; habitat, and that's what Mary spoke about very briefly in her video, that's where they live; their diet, which is what they eat, and again she spoke about something there, talked about what she found in their poo and how it smelt, gives us a clue about what they eat, and their behaviour, so things that they might do with other otters. It might be how they move, things like that could be in their behaviour. And then we've got down here a little box here for other facts. So fun facts you might find out about. It could be what a male and a female otter are called. It might be how many babies a female otter has per year. Other fun facts that you might find out about them in there. Now remember, this piece of work is not what we're looking at. This is just for your planning. So you can just write notes in here, bullet points. It doesn't have to be neat. It's as long as you can read it, because then you're going to transfer this onto your own fact file. So you've done this before. That's why I'm not going into too much detail, because you did it with Mary Anning and you did a great job. So that's for you. Then there are two options. The first option is if you would like to handwrite your own fact file. So here is one that you can print off for your title, otters, or Splash the Otter. And then you could do your headings: appearance, and write about appearance; diet, write about diet; behaviour, write about behaviour; habitat, I don't know if I've said that, write about habitat, and then fun facts at the bottom or other facts at the bottom. And then obviously a picture. You could do a diagram with some labels maybe about the features of an otter. That's if you would like to handwrite it. Now, you have done an awful lot of writing in the last few weeks. And so actually, we would like you to give you the option to do this on a computer. And I know you're all going to really enjoy that because I know your computing skills are excellent, much better than mine. We have not really covered any computing work at all this half term because it's been quite hard to do that. And if we were in school now, we would be looking at things that you could do in Word. If you remember, just before we broke up for home learning and went home to do all of our work at home, we had been into the computer suite, I think probably once, and we were looking at changing the font size and changing the colour of the font in Word. So they're the kind of skills we're looking at for you to improve on. So also in the OneDrive file, let me just stop this share. Oh, he's looking at me, look, he's saying, hurry up, you're talking too much, Miss Brogan. And I go into, it's a Word document. Now I'm hoping that you'll be able to download this Word document to work on so that you can work exactly on here. And I've made some text boxes for you here, a bit like the one that you could do if you were handwriting, and you can add in your title, information, etc., and pictures if you want to. So in here, you would have your title. So I'm going to call it Otters. You can call it Splash the Otter, or you can call it River Otters. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the font. So you can choose, have a real good look through. There's some great ones in here. I'm going to go with, oh, I like this one here. And I'm going to make it larger because it's my title. Oh, that's a nice one. And I also want it to be in the center. So I use this button here to put it into the center. And I'm sure you know how to do this because you're so clever on computers. And otters are like a brown color. So I'm going to change the color of it there. So there's my title. In here, I'm going to put my first heading, which is appearance. Appearance. And I'm going to change, I'm going to highlight that because it's my title of my heading. I'm going to make it bold up here, and I've spelt it wrong. I must go back. And I've underlined it as well. Sorry, John, spelled that wrong there. Appearance. And then I'm going to type in here, otters have a long tail, and keep writing all the information you find out about otters in there. You can see it's gone bold and underlined again, but I don't want it to be bold and underlined. So I'm going to take bold off, take underlined off there, and you can write all your information that you find out about what they look like, and you'll know lots more than me. Then I might want to add one picture in here. So I'm going to get rid of that there. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to go to Insert, Online Pictures. And it says, please wait while we load them. So as long as the internet's okay. When I did this for the squirrel class, it wouldn't load because the internet wasn't very good. If it doesn't load, it will come up with a search bar, and you just type in otter and you can pick a picture that will go into your box there on the page. I don't think it's going to do it. I'll just show you where I found that again. So go into Insert, Online Pictures. Or if you're really clever, which, oh, here we go, it's come up, perfect. So I'm going to type in otter. There we go, some pictures of some otters. I'm going to choose, oh, so many to choose from. I'm going to choose this one because it's got its full body. Oh, where's it gone? Here, the full body of the otter. Insert, and that will go into my box. I can move it, move the position of it. Oh, it's gone too far. Undo. Okay, and you can mess around with that and move it to the place that you want it to go. So I'm going to make it a bit smaller. There we go. And put it into that box there. So that's my picture. And then I can come down here and I can write in here diet as my heading. And then start writing about their diet. And if I finish there and I want another heading, I could write in behaviour. Oh, it's gone really small. Highlight it and make it bigger. There we go. And I want it bold and underlined because it's a heading. There we go. And I can write some information there about their behaviour underneath there, whatever I might find out there. And I might need to make that box a little bit bigger to fit it in. Okay, I'm just typing random things there. It's come up bold and underlined again there. So you can see what I'm getting at. I'm creating a fat file online on a computer, and it's using some of those skills that you would have done if you were in computing in school at the moment. So it's kind of showcasing your computing ability. Now it's up to you. You can do the writing if you want to. If it were me, I would choose to do it on the computer because I think it makes it a little bit more interesting and it saves your fingers and shows off your computing skills. And only because we know you've done lots of writing already that we're letting you do it this way. So it's a little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a project, an Otter project really. So when you have completed either one, the written one or the computer one, and you've checked it all over, you've checked you've got as much information as you can in there, you've got a nice picture, a nice title, you can change the colour of your font, you've made it look really, really super, you can then send it across to us via email before Tuesday. Tuesday's the last day for us to have a look at them all, read all the information that you have learned about otters, find out who's been really creative with the way they've designed their fat file and who's got all really fantastic information that they've researched. And then we'll have to choose a winner, which is going to be really hard. I know it is. So that's your task for today. And I hope we haven't muddled up your learning too much by making you wait an extra day. But I think it was worth it to get our own personal message from Worcestershire Wildlife, who are really proud of us. And I know that Mrs. Davis and I are going to be really proud of the work you do today. So let's get going. Get yourself set up. Don't forget to do some research first before you begin, and watch the video back as well if you want to write down some of those keywords that Mary told us about. And we just want to say before we go, Mrs. Davis and I are extremely proud of everything you've done this half term. You've worked incredibly hard and you've kept smiles on your faces and you've kept us smiling by seeing you on Zoom in the daytime and by sending us across all of your fantastic work. So we are really proud. And other than this little project that we don't want you to spend time in half term doing, honestly, we don't, please have a lovely, safe half term and spend lots of time with your lovely families and don't do any schoolwork. You're allowed a week off totally. And we will see you back a week on Monday, ready to start all over again, with the hope that we will be back in our Otter class with our fat files. We can put them on show in our classroom in a few weeks. Take care. Good luck.